Number 12, the bear of Sankebetsu, Japan's snow-covered slasher. In 1915, in a small village called Sankebetsu in Hokkaido, Japan, a brown bear descended upon a settlement in the middle of winter and went full horror movie. Over the course of just a few days, it killed 7 people, 2 families, and mutilated the bodies so badly, it caused a full-blown evacuation of the entire area. This wasn't just random animal aggression. The bear returned multiple times. It waited, it stalked, it broke through windows, it ambushed a funeral, like it was personally offended by the existence of humans. The killings were so gruesome and so deliberate that some villagers believed the bear was possessed. A hunting party was formed, and the creature was finally killed. The psychological damage remained. Some survivors never returned to the village. To this day, the event is considered the worst bear attack in Japanese history. And if you're wondering how a bear can break into your house, climb your roof, and still have enough energy to kill multiple people in one night, congratulations. You've now unlocked a new irrational fear. Basically, imagine if The Revenant had a sequel, but this time, the bear won. Number 11, the man-eating sloth bear, Baloo's evil twin. Yes, you read that right. A sloth bear, the goofy, shaggy creature that inspired Baloo from the Jungle Book, once went full horror movie mode. Between 1997 and 2004, in the Indian state of Karnataka, one sloth bear killed at least 12 people and maimed more than 24 others. And it didn't just kill, it mutilated. Victims were left disfigured, blinded, or missing parts of their faces. The bear seemed to target people with an almost obsessive rage. What caused it? Some experts believe the bear was injured by poachers or had cubs taken from her, which led to a rampage fueled by trauma and fury. So basically, you mess with Mama Bear, and she turns into a vengeful cryptid with a vendetta. What makes sloth bears scarier than you'd expect is how loud, aggressive, and fast they are. They scream like demons, sprint faster than you can run, and fight like rabid ninjas, and unlike big cats, they don't kill cleanly, they chew. Eventually, hunters tracked the bear down and ended the reign of toothy terror. But to this day, locals still talk about the beast like it was part of folklore, a true cautionary tale about what happens when you assume funny looking means harmless. Number 10. The polar bear of Churchill, Arctic's white death. Polar bears are adorable. Bright white fur, black nose, fluffy ears. Basically, if Coca-Cola had its way, we'd all believe they're sweet, soda-drinking buddies. Spoiler, they're not. Polar bears are apex predators with zero natural fear of humans, which becomes a problem when their icy hunting grounds melt and they decide to doorbell, ditch your cabin with claws. Churchill, Manitoba is called the polar bear capital of the world, and guess what? People there actually lock their car doors to help strangers escape if a bear shows up. Yes, there's an unspoken law if you're running from a polar bear. Just jump in any car like it's a survival-themed version of Grand Theft Auto. While there have been several documented fatal attacks, the real horror is the pattern. As climate change ruins sea ice, polar bears are starving, cranky, and more likely to roll into town like Arctic gangsters looking for snacks. And by snacks, I mean you. In 2013, a bear attacked 2 teens in Churchill. One got dragged, the other beat the bear with a flashlight. They survived, but it's basically the Canadian version of a horror movie. Nice town gets mauled by a giant snow monster. Moral of the story, the next time you think polar bears are cuddly, remember they're hungry, stealthy, and quite frankly, not here to share a Coke. Number 9. The lion of Mfuwe, Zambia's nightmare cat. So, picture this: you're in your village, minding your business, when a 10-foot-long lion, yes, 10 feet, starts walking around like he owns the place. Not the jungle, not the savannah, your village, like a furry landlord here to collect rent in blood. This was the Lion of Mfuwe. He terrorized the Luangwa Valley in Zambia in 1991, killing at least 6 people. But what made him extra terrifying wasn't just his size, it was his swagger. He had zero fear of humans. He would walk right down village paths in broad daylight, practically posing for photos, except he was too busy murdering people. Locals were so scared, they abandoned their homes, and you know it's bad when people give up their houses just to avoid one animal. The local legend grew so fast that some believed the lion was possessed or cursed. Eventually, a professional hunter took him down, and the lion's body was shipped off to Chicago's Field Museum, right next to the infamous Tsavo lions. Apparently, That museum collects man-eaters like they're Pokemon cards. He now stands there, taxidermied and terrifying, forever reminding you that cats may be cute until they grow big enough to hunt you and don't even bother hiding. Number 8. The New Jersey shark attacks. Jaws before. Jaws before. Steven Spielberg gave you an irrational fear of beaches. A real-life shark went on a multi-day killing spree in New Jersey. The year was 1916. America was sweating through a heat wave. The First World War was raging, and suddenly, shark attacks. 4 people died and 1 was severely injured over 12 days. One attack even happened in a creek 16 miles inland. That's right, a shark swam up a river and kept the murder party going like it had something to prove. People panicked, beaches emptied, shark bounties were offered. Eventually, a juvenile great white was caught with human remains in its stomach. Problem solved, maybe. But some scientists think it could have been a bull shark, which can swim in fresh water and loves chaos. Whatever it was, the media frenzy turned the whole thing into America's first shark hysteria, and decades later, Peter Benchley wrote Jaws, probably after muttering, "What if the fish had a name?" Bottom line, if you're planning a relaxing swim in a peaceful estuary, don't. Number 7. The Sundarbans tigers, saltwater psychos. Most tigers avoid humans unless provoked. Sundarbans tigers, they're built different. These are Bengal tigers that live in the mangrove swamps between India and Bangladesh, and they regularly eat people like it's no big deal. How many? Around 50 people a year, on average. That's not historic. That's now. These tigers actively hunt fishermen, honey gatherers, and the occasional unlucky villager who wandered a little too far into Tiger Town. Why so aggressive? One theory says the salty water messes with their sense of territory, making them extra hostile. Another suggests they associate humans with food because of frequent drownings during cyclones. Still others think the tigers are just sick of being surrounded by snack-sized bipeds. In response, some villagers started wearing masks on the backs of their heads because tigers prefer ambush attacks. The idea, if you trick the tiger into thinking you're watching it, it'll leave you alone. Spoiler, it didn't work forever. So if you're ever lost in the Sundarbans and hear a splash run, or don't, it probably won't matter. Number 6. The two-toed terror, Osama the hippo. Hippos look like nature's bouncy castles, chubby, slow, cute in a don't skip leg day kind of way. But in Africa, they kill more humans than lions, crocodiles, or sharks. One hippo, though, took it extremely personally. Meet Osama. Yes, that was his name. A 4,000-pound male hippo in Uganda who went rogue and killed more than 20 people over several years. He'd flip boats, drag people underwater, and bite them clean in half. Osama didn't charge people, he hunted them. Why? Turns out, humans killed his mother when he was young. So, yeah. Hippo trauma. He basically grew up with a vendetta and a very specific target. Villagers tried to avoid him, authorities tried to stop him, he just kept returning, like the worst kind of ex. Eventually, he was shot and killed, but not before establishing himself as the reason why you don't go canoeing in hippo territory. So next time you see a hippo yawn and think, "Oh, big mouth," just remember that's how it fits your torso in one bite. Number 5. The Wolves of Gévaudan, France's 18th century nightmare fuel picture. This is 1764 in rural France. People are wearing powdered wigs, dying of cholera, and suddenly something is eating them, not metaphorically, literally. The Beast of Gévaudan, or beasts, plural because no one's really sure, terrorized the French countryside for 3 years. Over 100 people were killed, mostly women and children, and this wasn't a bite-and-run situation. Victims were often decapitated, their bodies were mutilated. Some reports even claimed the creature had hooves, because why not throw in a little demonic flair? Royal hunters were sent in, bounties were offered. One dude even tried dressing as a woman to lure it in, 10-10 for commitment. Eventually, a man named Jean Chastel shot a massive wolf described as unlike any wolf ever seen, and the attack stopped. But the legend didn't. Some theories say it was a regular wolf, others believe it was a hyena smuggled from Africa, a trained killer beast, or even an early cryptid cosplayer. One thing's for sure, whatever it was, it turned 18th century France into a real-life horror novel where Little Red Riding Hood didn't win. Moral of the story, if your countryside has a body count and a wolf that doesn't act like a wolf, maybe don't wait 3 years to call the experts. Number 4. The Champawat tiger, queen of Carnage. You want a record-breaking man-eater? Meet the Champawat tiger, a Bengal tigress who basically treated Nepal and India like her own personal cafeteria. Her confirmed kill count 436 people, not rumored, not estimated, documented. She was so effective at hunting humans, the Nepalese army had to be called in. We're talking actual military units deployed to deal with one tiger, and she still slipped away into India, where she just kept going. Her reign of terror ended in 1907 when, surprise, it was again Jim Corbett who tracked and killed her. The man really had a thing for single-handedly handling nature's worst customer service incidents. Biologists later discovered she had broken canine teeth, likely from a gunshot wound, which meant she couldn't hunt her usual prey, so she chose the easier option: humans, who are slow, unarmed, and never stop talking. Basically, the Champawat tiger didn't just break records, she created a category. Think of her as the Michael Jordan of feline murder. Number 3. The Leopard of Rudraprayag, India's silent night stalker. In the 1920s, an Indian village discovered that the night wasn't just dark, it was actively hunting them. Enter the Leopard of Rudraprayag. This one animal was blamed for the deaths of over 125 people. Just one leopard, no pack, no backup dancers, just one furry serial killer. And this wasn't your average pounce and go kind of leopard. This one picked off villagers from inside their homes, broke into huts, and dragged victims from beds. It was the horror movie version of a DoorDash driver with very different intentions. Why did it go rogue? Some speculate it started scavenging corpses from plague victims, lost its fear of humans, and developed a taste for fresh prey. Once that switch flipped, there was no going back. British hunter Jim Corbett eventually took it down after a long and deadly game of cat and nope. Corbett was the kind of guy they called when a jungle problem needed a human solution. Now the leopard is stuffed and sits in a museum, which feels insufficient given it racked up a kill count higher than some military units. Number 2. Gustave, the bulletproof crocodile of Burundi. Imagine a crocodile so large, so ancient, and so completely unbothered by bullets that locals gave up trying to kill it and just named it Gustave. Sounds like a children's book character. Except Gustave wasn't here for story time. He was allegedly responsible for eating over 300 people along the Ruzizi River and Lake Tanganyika. This dude wasn't just big, he was massive. Estimated at 20 feet long and over 2,000 pounds, Gustave reportedly had bullet scars, missing teeth, and the chill attitude of a predator that knows you can't stop him. Efforts to trap or kill Gustave failed repeatedly. He'd sniff out bait, shrug, and vanish, like Jason Voorhees, but scaly and amphibious. To this day, his fate is unclear. Some say he died, others believe he's still out there, lurking, waiting, probably annoyed someone made a documentary about him without asking permission. So yeah, don't go swimming in Burundi, not unless you want to be part of Gustave's unauthorized sequel. Number 1. The Tsavo lions, Kenya's beard-hating brothers. In 1898, two very large, very angry lions decided they'd had enough of hunting gazelles. Instead, they turned their attention to humans. Specifically, they developed a taste for railway workers in Kenya. These weren't just any lions, they were maneless male lions, which somehow made them even creepier, like a lion that went bald and took it personally. For 9 months, these two cats turned the Tsavo River region into an all-you-can-eat buffet, racking up a body count of 35 officially, though local rumors say it was over 100. You know it's bad when the British Empire, a colonial force that once tried to fight emus and lost, decided this was a bit much. Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson, the man in charge of the railway project, eventually shot both lions, and because humans are nothing if not poetic, their stuffed skins are now on display at the Field Museum in Chicago, as if to say, here lie the lions who outperformed most horror movie villains. Moral of the story, if your construction project includes night shifts, maybe don't build it next to a lion-infested river in colonial Africa. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.